So, man, as we see, man, Karmelo Anthony, man, guilty verdict, man, and 30 minutes later, man, 35 years for, you know, self-defense. Um, you know, once again, I don't know a lot of facts of the case because it wasn't televised and, documents and all that stuff fall through the cracks sooner or later. And people gonna pick it apart and more evidence and more information on the case gonna come around. But like I said in my last video on this, man, it's just sad, man, on both sides, man, for the family that lost their son and he gone, and Carmelo family, of course, and him, because they 35 years now. I don't know how their sentencing work out there in Texas as far as how much of the time you actually have to do. I know a lot of these states will sentence you, and their sentences be big numbers, but the actual percentages of the time you have to do be like real minimal, kind of like in Florida back in the days we used to have CRD and all these different things where you got day for day, and sometimes more than that. You know what I'm saying? You get 6 months in a month for game time. So I don't know. I saw like Georgia from the Young Thug trial. What I saw, because I don't know much about Georgia law. I'm from Florida, of course, but Georgia law, you see how they was giving them 20 years, but you only do like 2 or 3 years off 20-year sentence. So it might be one of those things, and that might be a little ease on the sentence for everybody. But if it's like Florida, you gotta do 85% of it, boy, that's a hard, about 32, 33, something like that, boy. 85% of that is a hard pill to swallow, boy. And I don't know the facts of the case, but I hate to see our young brothers being lost to the system, man. From what I do see, he was a 4.0 student, athlete that was having offers from other colleges and all of this stuff. The other kids was athletes. I don't know much about none of that, but I just from watching videos and listening to other commentary on it, I heard that about Carmelo. It's a tough pill to swallow. It's not over for him. He definitely got the appeal process. And I think, if you make it to the Supreme Court, at the end of the day, self-defense is self-defense. You can't, I don't think that it's fair to tell somebody, okay, if somebody is threatening me, right, I can only, threaten them, or if they hit me, I can only hit them back as hard as they hit me. I wouldn't even taught that as a child, and I was taught, if somebody bigger than you, pick up something and bust them in the head, even to fight up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, whatever it is, man. But it don't seem fair to me. Now I don't know. I know the explanation that I shared from this Georgia lawyer attorney, and he explained their self-defense law, which is a little different than the Florida stand ground law. The Florida stand ground law is, man, if I can stand my ground to the point where take your life if I feel that you're gonna do me imminent bodily harm or kill me. And I think that should be the nationwide standard, because that seems to be all they hold law enforcement to. These cops during the Obama administration, it seemed for some reason, it was all over the news where unarmed people was being killed by police officers, and all they had to do was say that they feared for their life. So I just think we need to set a standard for that and then maintain it. Don't let states, counties, cities, none of these people be able to interpret or have these laws, and then they vary from state to state, because then it don't seem like it's constitutional to me if it's legal in one place and illegal in another. So that's just one of the things. That's the main thing I think they got to go on for appeal to the unconstitutionality of the Texas self-defense law. You know, according to their law, you know, they found him guilty. It's a hard pill to swallow. There's a lot of laws that need to be changed or amended to where that they fair and they're constitutional. And I just don't think that that law is constitutional. By the word of the law, you know, Karmelo was found guilty. As far as the all-black jury, like I said in my other video, that's not nothing new. He's not going to get no appeal because of that. That's not going to happen. That happened too often. And, you know, that's like, then it'll be like a white person saying, okay, well, I don't want no black people on my jury because black people ain't my peers. I want an all-white jury. Then you got people you're not able to pick your jurors, but you are able to go through the juror selecting process, right? And I've actually been through the process twice, and you know, I never had a black juror either, you know, but I was found not guilty. So, you know, I think times done changed, but there's some of those places, man. You know, Texas is one of those good old boy states, like Florida. You know, I'm not gonna say I was lucky. I think we proved my case, but you know, it's the luck of the draw. He got the appeal process, and he got all the way to the Supreme Court to fight it. I think that people that's doing all of the talking and you know, feel like they want to support Karmelo, send that money. That's how you help. See, all that talking, marching, send that money. He needs money. You know what I'm saying? So send that money. That's what he needs. He don't need no Facebook and Instagram protests. He need that money, man. I'm telling y'all, man. Had to push my little wig back. But yeah, he need that money, man. And he needs some decent attorneys, you know. I'm hoping, you know, we got a lot of black attorneys out here, and it's a lot of commenting on this, and you know, was around the court and commenting on this, man. Step up, you know. Get a man some help, man. Act pro se, man, and it ain't nothing to volunteer information and educate people. You know what I'm saying? That's what they need. An appeal, you know, you got the right to appeal. You know, you got 30 days to appeal. I don't think they're gonna just take 35. I wouldn't take 35. That would be the only reason I went to trial. You know what I'm saying? That's how I always felt, man. Go to trial. Don't take nothing. Make them give it to you. And then you preserve your right to appeal anything they done wrong to you. You know what I'm saying? So the jury thing, no, that's not gonna do it. That's not gonna get him back on the appellate court. That's been happening for too long, and it ain't got nobody backing up. You know, unless it was some jurors that's just proven to be racist. You know what I'm saying? Or it was proven to have some kind of corruption in the jury process or some of that. I do see that they're saying that the family close-knit and dinner and all these pictures and all that with the lawyers and the judge. But that's how they move, man. That's why, you know, we black, white, whatever the race is, we need to start supporting and getting our judges. You know, that's the mob do it. They buy judges by supporting them. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't about just giving them money. It's about supporting them, right? Helping them get in there, because all of them positions is elected positions. So, you know, we got to do a little bit more to get our people in those positions, and at the same time, also, we got to start pushing our kids to fill some of these positions, right? All these other people, that's what they do. The mafia, what they do. You see, the mafia, they get their kids and they don't bring some of them, they might have a hard-headed kid that just press, and do enough to where that they like, fuck it, come on, you in. But they send their kids to college, law colleges, and all of this place, and now you got all of these people with the last name Gotti that's sitting on judge seats and prosecutors and lawyers. Uh, Rubios. The Rubios was a big crime family in Tampa, in the early days in the mob. Pam Bondi. All of them was come from the mafia, you know what I'm saying? But what they did was they took their kids and the money they was making and they invested that money into sending their kids and putting them into them positions. So when they needed somebody in them positions, they had somebody there. So that's part of the game, y'all. And you can't hate the game, you gotta hate the players, man. Either learn how to play the game or get the fuck up out of it. You know? You got to know how to operate in the system in order to move in it, or right to put yourself in the best position. So that's what Karmelo needed right now. He needed for some attorneys to come together and put together this appeal process for him, and that's what I think he got to go after: the unconstitutionality of the Texas self-defense law, right? Because if somebody got a baseball bat and I got a gun, I can't shoot them. That's basically what they're saying. I got to get a bat and beat them off with a bat. I got to apply the same level of force. That don't make sense. That don't make sense. If somebody allegedly, like this kid was that lost his life, 6'4", 200 and some pounds, and then Karmelo 5'8", 135, 140 pounds. That ain't no even fight. That ain't even. You know what I'm saying? And all professional fighting, boxing, martial arts, whatever, it's weight classes for a reason. Right? It's weight classes for a reason. So Karmelo allegedly, from what I see, saw that this kid was a lot bigger than him in size. And you know what I'm saying? He was by himself other than the dude he dapped up, according to what I've been hearing, and was sitting there talking with, so he was in danger, and like I say, in Texas, man, ain't no saying, they ain't gonna put it all in there, but I'm quite sure they was calling them niggas and all of that, and I'm positive that came out. They ain't never gonna tell the truth about that, but and that's because that, I ain't whether you like it or not, you know what I'm saying? I ain't against nobody, but when white people get mad at you, as a black person, that's the first thing they go to. That is the first thing they go to, is to call you a nigga. I done been through it a lot and had to smile and laugh at people and tell them, man, you think that bothered me? Shit, I call myself a nigga. I call that's a term of endearment. You know what I'm saying? Between me and my niggas. So you can't hurt me with that. But that's the first thing they do. And it's just crazy, it's gonna be a lot of uproar and commentary and people giving their opinions on this. But at the end of the day, the only thing we could do that's gonna be effective is, if you really want to support the boys, support them with some money, man. They need money so he can get adequate legal defense, right? To run this appeal, right? They need to be putting in like an emergency appeal, because this is a young man that is looking to go forward and go to college and be productive in society, man. I don't think that the system should be designed to do what it's doing. I understand that somebody lost their life, but it wasn't in malice, right? It wasn't a hate crime. It wasn't, from what I could see, right? So I don't want to get too far taking nobody's side in this, but just from what I could see, it's just crazy, That's what I got to say, man. I really ain't know how to come about this, because I don't want to take no sides in this, because I'm not educated enough on what actually happened. This wasn't a live trial where we was able to see all of the testimony and all of that. We was just making our judgments from what we heard in the media. So, sound bad, man, but at the end of the day, he got the appellate process, and the appellate court is a little bit more to the letter of the law, and he got all the way to the Supreme Court, and at the end of the day, the Supreme Court is governed by federal law, and I believe that the young man prevailed, but we still talking about 2, 3, maybe up to 5 years for that process. I had an appeal one time. I went to the second DCA, Second District Court of Appeals, and it took 2 years for that appeal to go through, before they made a decision and then entered a mandate. So, it could be 2 to 5 years for the appellate process, but hopefully some more information come out about this, where we'll be educated and we'll know actually what went on. Maybe the video will come out, because there is video of it, and that's another thing, so we really got to see that kind of stuff, and you really got to hear or understand what the testimony was in the trial. I see a lot of stuff being thrown out by his lawyers and all of that. Ineffective counsel is another grounds for appeal, but you got to be able to show things that your counsel did, to be ineffective or didn't do. So that's my 2 cents on it, man. Condolence to the family of the ones that lost their son, and condolence to the young man's family that's about to lose him to the prison system for a long time, unless they get it overturned on appeal. I don't think we should be doing no rioting over this. I don't think there should be no mass hysteria, because it ain't nothing new. This go on every day. Every day that courthouse open, man. Every day that courthouse open, and they got 1 or 2 days out of the week that's set for trials. So this going on every day in the country to people of all colors. That system really don't care about. I'm telling you, that system don't care about what color you is, man. Because when you get there, you gonna see that everybody there, man. Ain't no, that system don't care what color you is. I'm telling you, it don't. It treat all of us pretty much the same. You know what I'm saying? Where the difference come is that money for that legal defense. If you ain't got no reputable good trial attorney, then you know what I'm saying, that system gonna pick you apart and they're gonna scare you. You know what I'm saying? But when you got 35 years or 3 to 99, what the charges he was charged with carried on the line, unless they offer you the 3, man, you take it to the door. For 35, man, you can't take that kind of time, man. You got to go to the door in certain circumstances. Now, if they got you dead to the right and you're looking at an elbow or a life sentence, then you do what you got to do. But, man, sometimes you got to fight, man. I think Karmelo was smart for fighting. And I just hope that they preserve the record properly. And, we get him back on the pill and get that time back, man. But that's my thoughts, man. Y'all make sure y'all like and share this video, man. And also, man, what I want y'all to do is comment, man. Let me know what y'all feel about this, man. Do y'all agree with me? Do y'all think I'm tripping and I should be out there ready to tear it up because of this, just let me know, man. Subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss none of this content, man. We're finna turn this thing up. Kingpin, Chronicles, VP, I'm out.